All right, Alico 3. Today's video is going to focus on a PSA order. These are cards valued $4.99 or under. They were shipped off in September. There's around 47 cards. I've seen the grades on most of them. I think there's about 10 or so I haven't. I just kind of sifted through them since the order came in a couple of days ago. And then I wanted to get this video shot and edited by the weekend, so we'll see if that happens. But typical players that you'll see in the order: classic players, Hall of Famers. I think there's a little bit of ultra modern mixed in, but for the most part it's typical. Card wise, grade wise, not overly impressive. You know, there's some 7s mixed in, but the way the hobby is, there's even respect for 7s and 8s now. I think it's just shifted so much away from raw. Raw cards don't get much respect, which, you know, I don't totally agree with, but people want their stuff graded. So we'll start off with the 2011 playoff contenders. This is the Rido logo helmet auto of Julio Jones. So this is a neat one. I don't know what really to say about it, but it's got the Rido right there. Interesting card. I don't know why it got a 7. I had that as like an 8 or 8.5, so it doesn't really make sense on that one. This is one I thought would be probably a 10. It got an 8. I don't know if it's the centering right to left here. I'll have to look at some other examples. If it's that, then that's totally my fault. I don't know if they all look like that, or if this example, see that fat left border there. But if it's that, then that totally makes sense as an 8, because that thing's really off-centered. So the ball in left hand, that's the variation for Saquon Barkley from 2018 contenders. Not sure the print on this. I think it's under 200 though, so lower print on that one. Low expectations for this. This was pre-graded at a 7.5, so a 7 didn't surprise me at all. It's the 2007 Bowman Calvin Johnson. This is the rookie autograph, so it's out of 25. Neat card. You know, this black cardstock on the edges chips pretty easily, so this copy, you know, I bought it raw. It didn't look great when it came in. But I definitely wanted to get it slabbed just because of the player, the numbering on the card, etc. So there's 3 of these coming up, and these were all, I think, Beckett 8.5s that I had for years and years. This set gets hammered by PSA, this 2004 SPx. I think it might be because of this window with the X, just can have little imperfections, and then of course there's chipping on the edges and corners on the majority. But I mean, it's honestly not bad. I was thinking these could easily get 8s, and they would probably get an 8 at SGC, but for some reason PSA grades 04 SPx football extremely tough. So they all got, I think there's 3 of them, and they all got 7s, which is okay with me. 7's definitely my cutoff for modern cards like this. When I get 6s, I snap it or I sell it. 6 just looks weird to me on a modern card. Not that a 7's much better, but it's a little more respectable. So here's the 3rd one, but I mean, it's a Fitzgerald SPx. How often these pop up? I don't really see them ever pop up anymore. These were purchased probably like 2010 or something. I've had them forever. So a 7 on the 3rd one, the SPx. I think I have a PSA 9 in my collection that looks really clean. So maybe I'll sell one. Put a couple of those in the store or something. I don't know what I'll decide to do with those. This is a neat one. This is the refractor. I think this card's over 1,000 at this point. I'll post some prices at the bottom on some of these where I can find market data that makes sense. But the LT, the shine on that's the Topps Chrome. It's interesting to look at my sheet and compare what I had them graded as to what PSA graded them, because it's all just opinions. Yeah, I had these as 8.5s and 9s, so there's 2 of these. So here's the first one. And the second one got a 9, so I mean, that's pretty much on par with what I was expecting on these 2. The pop is extremely low on these because of scratching and centering and little surface dimples. So 9's, it's definitely a solid grade on this LT. Crazy shine on this 2001 refractor too. So the LT01 Topps Chrome refractor, that's out of 999. All right, next up, Moss. Future watch. No, the streak continues of PSA 9s, but I definitely wasn't expecting a 10 on this one. I was expecting an 8.5 or a 9. Never gotten a PSA 10 on this card. I've probably sent 30 in now. I actually did get an SGC 10 on my last Tux review, but the Future Watch Moss in a 9. I think I snapped this out of a case from one of those lower tier companies. I got it real cheap, and it looked nice inside the slab, so I just snapped it out and sent it. This will probably be like a 7. Yeah, these are tough. This foil is just it's crazy. I mean, this is like a decent copy. I've probably bought about 5 of these over the years, and this was like one of the better copies. So I would imagine the other ones would get 5s and 6s that I came across, but this foil just lends to chipping and little imperfections, which takes the grade down pretty quick. So, but that's the Supreme Brady out of 2000. It's not really a highly sought after card in the hobby. I think there's a Roethlisberger SPx. Okay. Kind of surprised they gave me a 9 on this one. I had the pre-grade set at 8.5 and 9.5, so this must have been the 9.5. This was probably a Beckett 9 snap with high subgrades, because this one looks really good. So I'm going to guess the next one's going to get like a 7 or 8. But 375. So that's another thing about the Fitzgerald that I like, is it's out of 100 as opposed to 375. So it's much rarer. But Roth gets a 9 on the SPX. I bet that card's $700 at least. And then the second one is going to get an 8. So I mean that's pretty fair. It's got a little white right there on the edge and the corner. So I mean you can tell a noticeable difference between the 8 and the 9, which is what you should tell on some cards if you're going to pay that premium. So Roethlisberger, PSA 8, the 375 rookie. There's a Phillip Rivers contenders in here. Low expectations. This should be like a 7 or 8. Got a 9. I don't remember how I came across this one. I think it was maybe a Beckett 9 snap out that just didn't look that great. I thought PSA would give it an 8 or a 7, but they gave it a 9. So print on this is 556, I believe, somewhere around there. So the contenders, Phillip Rivers, but this is a sick one. This is the Ultimate Collection, Larry. That auto is like off the card. I don't know. Like I don't get the autos graded because I'm just not a fan of it. But I bet that would hurt the auto. Push it to like an 8. Fitzgerald Ultimate Collection 150. PSA 9. Beautiful card. This is probably one of the top cards in the order. This was a definite head scratcher. I don't know what happened with this one. This is the Ultimate Collection Gold to 25 though, so the base is 99. It's a thicker card. It's got a little white on the back corner, so I was thinking 8.5 when I sent it in. So this looks clean. I don't see any weird like dents on the surface. So this is gonna get snapped for sure. I think it's undergraded by a lot. We'll just snap it, resend it. I think next time it'll come back an 8 or 8.5, but a card like this is worth sending again. So the Ultimate Collection Gold in a 7. Rookies and Stars Brady. This one I had pegged as an 8. It's just got some white on the corners. It's not the worst copy you'll see. It's not the best copy you'll see, and it's also not the best 8 you'll ever see. It's just it's a decent card. So I mean, the Rookies and Stars 8. Love the Rookies and Stars though. There's the back numbering, 1000 on that one. Kyler Murray, the Rookies. I got this in a pack. I thought it was going to be a 9. It's a little off center, right to left, but you know, I pulled it in the pack. It looked decent enough to send in. Didn't look perfect, but it's good enough to get a 9. So that's the rookies auto to 99. Kind of an interesting card. It looks pretty cool, actually. Spectrum Andre Johnson. This is out of 25, so thicker card stock. So I got the thicker slab. It's not really the thickest card though. This is like a 70-point card if you put it in the top loader. But the Spectrum in an 8. Probably not tons of value on this card in an 8. Andre doesn't get a ton of hobby respect, but I think he will eventually be heading to Canton. So there's his SPX Spectrum. We've got Jordan. This is the black 69. The rookie cup, very cool card because he's got the rookie cup on it. So Jordan black to 69 in a PSA 9. Here's the Hot Gloves Griffey. This card's sick. There was a PSA 10 I was looking at on eBay a couple days ago. I don't know what it ended at. It probably went over $1,000, but this one got a 9. I think that's what I thought it was going to get. So PSA 9. These little flames sometimes have little imperfections just coming out of the pack or not being handled correctly and just get dented. So if you have a card like this, don't try to put it into a magnetic because it pushes the flames in too much. Just put it in the top loader. Use your head. I've seen people try to stuff the flames in like cards like this and try to stuff the card in. I'm like, what are you doing? So there's that. There's another Moss here. So there's the streak, continue the 9 streak on the future watches. This one's really clean. Wow. Virtually no chipping. Front looks really good too. So I mean, this looks as nice or nicer than a couple of 10s I have of this card. LT Gold didn't fare all that well. This back edge has some white, but aside from that, this might be a snapper. I was thinking 8.5 to 9 when I sent this one in, so I think I'll snap this one out. Maybe toss it over to SGC, see what they say. Get it back in 2 weeks. Can't really beat that. So that's the Future Watch Gold to 100. I think these are really undervalued. It's SP Authentic. It's a rookie. It's got the gold. It's got the Future Watch. It's out of 100. There's just a lot going on for this card. Okay. There's a third one. Streak. Continue the streak on the Future Watches. Little dab of white on the bottom left. That's what my PSA 10 has too. Front on these surfaces can be a little scratched on this darker black and white border too. So that's or surface. So mint 9 on the Moss, and then here's the Trout. This is the draft gold. That one looks accurate. I was shocked I gave this a 10. I actually had this as a 9 when I did my pre-grading. You know, it's a really clean card. It's just got a little white right there. So right there. So I didn't think they'd give it a 10, but they gave it a 10. So that's the thing. You'll get 10s on cards you don't expect to. Then there's cards where you expect to, like this next one, where I thought this was a 10 when I sent it. Oh shit, they actually gave it. I'm shocked. Oh, I'm stoked. This card is the card that out of any card on the order, this is the one grade that I wanted to happen, and I was expecting a 9. It's just got the centering. I came across this card raw, and I was just like, man, I've come across so many cards over the years, and I was like, this card just deserves a 10. Just because a lot of these finest cards are so off-centered and they can be scratched. Sometimes there's a line going across the front, and that is like an automatic 8. But this one just looked like a 10. It deserves a 10, and it got a 10. So I'm stoked. This will be casket. But this is the 95 finest refractor. It's a great looking card. So the Griffey and a 10. That's just sick. Here's another badass card. This is the black refractor. These have definitely shot up in value. So here's the LT black out of 100 in a 9. Crazy shine, just like the refractor. It says refractor right there too. It's out of 100. Flagship LeBron gets an 8. That's about right. Top to bottom on that's pretty lazy looking. So flagship LeBron and an 8. There's a few wave of the futures that will flip through here too. So there's the 8. I'll definitely throw. I might throw that in an auction. Let somebody take that one down. Wave of the future gets an 8. Here's the back of the Wave of the Future. Cool card. I'm not sure the odds on pulling one of this, but I think this card is probably undervalued. Oh, and I got a 10 on the Pujols too. Okay, that's awesome. So I hadn't seen this one yet, but this is one that I had marked as a 10 snap, which means if it doesn't get a 10, it's getting snapped. That is if it didn't get like dented during the grading process, because you always got to look at your cards after they're graded, but I can't remember how I came across this one. It might have been like a GAI 9.5 or something weird like that. But I came across this one and I just looked it over and I was like, this card's a 10. It should be a 10. And it got a 10. So that's just filthy. The auto, of course, would get like an 8. But see, I think most of the autos on these are like that. But the Pujols gets a 10, 1,500, just filthy. Here's waves. On the Wave of the Futures, I was expecting 8s to 8.5s, so looks fair to me on these waves. There's another wave. This one gets an 8 as well, so par the course on those ones. And then this next one is another LeBron, but it's a Fleer Platinum. It's out of 750. It's the base one. And it got an 8, which is actually pretty good for this set. It's pretty tough. It looks like it's a little off center top to bottom and some chipping on this purple. But aside from that, pretty neat card. Going up for, looks like a layup or something, but the Platinum LeBron. Bowman gets a 9. I think I had this as a 9 plus. So I was expecting a 9. I would have been surprised with a 10 for sure. So great card though. And then another Pujols. Actually, I'm going to save that one. We'll save these. Here's some thicker cards. Some of these grades are a little rough. Here's the one that didn't get graded. It's actually the 98 Bowman Certified Peyton. This is one that's going to go, I'm going to shoot it over to SGC because it looks like it could get an 8.5 or a 9. See that edge right there? It's got a little edge issue, but I think it could pull a 9. It could look cool in the tux too. So that one didn't get graded, which, you know, it's not bad. If you send in 47 cards and only one doesn't get graded, I'll take those odds. I don't know what happened with this one. SPx Breeze. I had this one as an 8.5. It came back a 7. It's got a little white on the corners. It might be this patch window. That one looks, it's just better than a 7. So get out the pliers, right? That's the gold one to 250. Here's the Peterson holofoil. Thicker card. I honestly think this was a Beckett 8.5 or 9. I had this marked as an 8 plus, and it got a 7. So just got a little white on the back. Patch windows look clean. So I mean, this card should be an 8 all day. 25 print on that one, SPX. Here's a Phillip Rivers SP Authentic in an 8. That's to $2.99, so it's got a sweet patch though. This was marked as an 8. Russell Wilson, this is the Spectrum to 25, 2012 SPX. That's a neat one. This was a Beckett 9. So, but you know, at this point, a PSA 8 is about the same value as a Beckett 9, so. And this one got hammered. I think this was a Beckett 9 too. I just didn't want them in the Beckett slabs. This one got a 7. So, I mean, these sticker cards just get hammered. To me, it looks like an 8 to 8.5, but I'm not the one grading and slabbing them. This is the Exquisite Collection to 150. We'll save that one. That's got a cool patch for last. Pujols Studio gets a 9. That's out of 700. It's a neat one. Breeze SPX Blue gets an 8. It's got some edge chipping. Probably accurate. So that's the blue one. We saw the gold one earlier. Here's the Breeze Spot 800. That one gets an 8. And then this next one coming up was definitely a disappointment. I was looking for at least like a 7.5 or 7. But it got hammered. So this was a Beckett 8.5. I'm not kidding. It came back at 6. But you see that top left corner. I was thinking that's bad. That's why with Beckett, those I'm not a fan of the subgrades for that reason. I think the corners on that one like an 8. And then the rest of the subgrades brought the card up, but that's substantial enough to where the card shouldn't be sitting in an 8.5 holder. And that's why I don't like the Beckett subgrades for that reason. But to me, that's still probably a 7, you know, with that corner. It's rough. So 6 on that one. There's a Vic in here. Gotta have the Vic. This was marked as 8+. So here's the back on that one. This is a pretty iconic card, the 2001 Spa Vic 250. A couple more. This has been a pretty fun video. This is the Sweet Spot. So thicker card getting a 9 like this is tough. This is a good grade. The auto smudge, see that? It'd probably get like a 7 if you graded that auto, but it doesn't really bother me. So 150 Sweet Spot Fitzy, and then we're going to close out. I think that's it. Yeah, this is it. Charger Bolt Breeze gets a 9 as well. So ending with a couple 9s on thick cards, which is tough. So Breeze Charger Bolt gets the 9. That's sick. This was a Beckett 9 snap. So there's a lot of these cards that were sitting in my PC for like a decade, and I just snapped them out just because the disparity between PSA and Beckett pricing is so much, and I don't like the Beckett holder or subgrade. So as a collector, a lot of these will go into the PC. I mean, there's some I'll put on into the store, but you got to collect what you like. That's it. So that was a fun order. I'll upload with some information as well, pricing. Take care.